always am grateful to be able to share this practice with you, and I thank you for showing up and hearing me talk a little bit about this stuff. I have such a deep interest in it that I just feel compelled to share it, because I feel more than ever this is a time for us to come together, and I find that there is a lot of quote-unquote spiritual teachings out there that can sometimes bring us apart and take us apart. And what I like about some of these teachings, especially the person I want to talk about today, Swami Vivekananda, is he has a very deep and rich way of looking at ourselves as divine beings. And all major religions, at least the ones that I've studied of interest, all talks about divinity, not only our own divinity, but our connection to that which is greater than us. And I really like the way that Swami Vivekananda words has been translated to help understand our own personal divinity, and also in the way of yoga, how to connect to that divinity. And Swami Vivekananda said, "You have to grow from the inside out. None can teach you. None can make you spiritual. There is no other teacher but your own soul." And I find this to be very true, especially when we take time to meditate, to get still, to really be present in our own bodies. There is a massive amount of teachings that comes just from being still. In fact, I think it was even Jesus Christ that said, "Be still." It's a practice that I don't feel I could always improve on more, and it's something that is probably not done enough in this day and age. We get so caught up in the go, 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 produce, 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 consume, 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 that we aren't always cognizant of the things that we are doing. Swami Vivekananda said, in a conflict between the heart and the brain, follow your heart. And I really like this quote, and this one sticks with me, because I had a teacher that always used to say, God in the heart, God in the mind. And every single one of us has a very similar heart, but every single one of us has grown up in different conditions. So our mind, in the way that it considers the world and thinks and perceives the world, is very different. Yet, beneath all of that, below that, there is still a heart. And so it's recognizing that every single one of our minds are a little bit different, but all of our hearts are the same, doing the same thing underneath the sun. And so what I find is helpful is, and I do this the best I can, I don't always succeed at it, of course, but it's to look at the heart rather than the mind. Because we can all speak our minds, but our hearts all speak the same language. He says, the great secret of true success or true happiness is this: the man or woman who asks for no return. The perfectly unselfish person is the most successful. And I really, really like this a lot, because I think back to how many times in my life where I've considered success to be something of monetary value or physical value, or success to be of great achievement, of gaining a trophy or an award. But what I'm finding more and more is it's doing out of the simple act of doing, not because I want to receive anything on the back end of it. It's because I can do it. And there's something quite liberating about doing something simply because you can, not because there's something waiting for you at the very end of it. In fact, some of these yogis would go on to say that even just doing something for the act of doing it for God is just, that's enough and always enough. He says, in a day when you don't come across any problems, you can be sure that you are traveling in a wrong path. Life is about overcoming what some yogis may call karma, or samskaras, or working through our dharma. These are all maybe funny words for some of you that are hearing them for the first time, but essentially, if we're constantly avoiding life because we don't want to face problems, that's not necessarily the best path. Because eventually, sooner or later, in the great, eternal, infinite nature of all things, before time and after time, we are going to have to face these problems. And I find that it's better to face these things head on and to be honest with ourselves about it, ask for help as we work through these problems, as opposed to constantly avoiding, only to find out eventually that we can't avoid anything. Eventually, it all circles back around. In fact, whatever it is that we're holding on to as a problem that we've been avoiding, it's going to slowly and subtly grow underneath us until it cracks us. And that's where the spiritual teaching begins to occur. And I have more quotes here, but I'm going to read one more, and then we'll get into our practice. He said, "All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Believe in that. Do not believe that you are weak. Do not believe that you are a half-crazed lunatics, as most of us do nowadays. You can do anything and everything, without even the guidance of anyone. Stand up and express the divinity within you." And I feel he kind of hits the nail on the head with that one. And part of our work, and I feel we are all reminders of each other. Many of you have heard me say this quote before by Ram Dass, but we're all walking each other home. And as we walk each other home, how do we walk? We are one another's teachers, but at a certain point, it is up to us to reach inside ourselves and look and see what it is that is inside of us. Because every single person possesses that spark of divinity. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. And for what reasons we're here, I'm not here to answer that big question yet, but definitely trying to understand it. And I do know that service towards others is a big piece of it. Doing things without attachments, another piece of it. Being loving, being honest, being caring, not stealing, and not hurting is a huge piece of it too. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into our practice. I'd like us to start in an upright position today. Please come into a comfortable cross-seated position. If you need to place a bolster or blankets underneath you to lift your hips up, please do so. And place the hands on the knees, palms face down, lift the chest up, and close the eyes. And as you close your eyes, begin to let go of your day. Let go of your week. Let go of what's next and what's to come. Feel the breath moving in and out of your body. Feel the depth of the breath, the pace of the breath, and the balance in the breath. And let's begin to breathe together. Please take a long, slow breath in, fill lungs up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, fill lungs. Exhale, letting it go. Inhale, fill lungs. And exhale, letting it go. Continue breathing on your own. And And as you breathe on your own, please check in with your bodies, from your head to your toes, observing any tension, tightness, soreness, imbalances of any kind. Using this time in this morning, or whatever time you take this class, to just check in, to recognize how you're feeling. Where is there stress in your body? Where is there tension, tightness, soreness? Are we ignoring it? Or are we taking care of it so that we don't move into our day with these ailments? As we move deeper into our practice, please stay with the breath. Allow yourself to relax into your body. This practice is intended to nurture and restore. Please place both hands over your hearts. Let's begin to deepen the breath, holding the breath in silence. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in. Feel your chest expand, collarbones spread, spine lengthen, drop the shoulders down the back, relax the face, lips, eyes, mouth, and forehead. Hold your breath at the top of the inhale. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Again, please take another long, slow, deep breath in. Feel the chest expand, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back, long spine. Relax the face, lips, eyes, mouth, and forehead. Hold your breath at the top of the inhale in silence. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. One more time. Please take another long, slow, deep breath in. Feel the chest expand, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back, long spine. Relax the face, lips, eyes, mouth, and forehead. Holding your breath at the top of the inhale. This time sip in once, sip in twice, sip in 3 times. Hold your breath at the top and set an intention for your practice today. Let that intention be clear, focused, manifest, create your life through your vision. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Let's do an Om. Feel the Om's vibration in your chest. Inhale. Inhale, fill lungs up. And exhale, release the hands to the knees, softly blinking the eyes open. Please switch the crossing of your legs, other shin on top. The other shin on top, hands on knees, palms face down. Let's just start to circle our heads out. And as we circle our heads, go slow. Don't have to start off with big circles first. Inhaling as you lift your head up. Exhaling as the head drops down. And start to add your spine. Maybe getting into your thoracic spine, the upper and mid back, keeping the lumbar spine stable. Gradually start to work your way into your lumbar spine, lower back. Inhaling as you rise. Exhale as you dive down. And you can use the hands on the knees and press down lightly and roll your shoulders a little bit. You may start to feel it a little bit in your chest as you dive down and forward. Go for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, circle the head in the opposite direction. And every now and then I'll get asked by a student, why do I take so long at the beginning of the class as far as the breathing portion before I get into the physical practice? And I kind of look at it as sort of like when you go eat dinner at a restaurant, the table's set already for you. And the practice in doing breath work first is sort of like setting the table. So that way we can have a certain tone as we move into our practice. And scientifically proven that breath helps to relax the body. We want to start to move into the practice already in a relaxed state. So we use the breath as a tool to start to work into it. Start to circle your mid and upper back out. So that way when we get into the posture portion of the practice, or the main dining if you will, your body's already in a state of relaxation and not tension, because it's sort of like if you ever watch a runner or an athlete perform a race, they warm up first. They stretch first before they actually do the work, bigger circles with your spine. And so the breath work is sort of the just very beginning of the practice to start to connect to our bodies, no matter where we're at. If we've had a busy day or a restless night of sleep, we can jump into our practice as such. Circle your spine out. Inhaling as you rise. Exhaling as you dive down. Work into your side waist, lower back. Inhale, rising. Diving down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. With your next inhale, rise up, reach up, palms touch. Exhale, draw the hands down to the heart center. Inhale, arms out to the sides, reach up. Exhale, draw the hands down to the heart center. Do it with a softness, a lightness. Inhale, arms out to the sides, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart, warming up the shoulders. Inhale, arms out and up, palms touch. Few more. Inhale, arms out to the sides and up. Exhale, hands down the center. 2 more. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands down the heart center. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands down the center. All right. From here, let's uncross our legs. As we uncross our legs, let's come onto our hands and knees into a tabletop position. So we come into a tabletop position. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. On an inhale, I'd like us to step our right foot back. Now as you step your right foot back, tuck your toes. As you tuck your toes, begin to lift the chest a little bit. Maybe walk the hands in so the shoulders are more over the wrists. And then firm the biceps forward. Inner elbows draw in towards one another. Lift the head just a little bit. Then press your right heel back. Feel the stretch through the right calf. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Full breath in. Exhaling. With your next inhale, lower your right knee down. And then please step your left foot back. Press your left heel to the back of your mat. Lift the chest a little bit. Again, shoulders are over the wrists, biceps wrapping forward, navel front ribs in, top of the head reaching forward. 3 long, slow, deep breaths. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. And inhaling. Exhaling. Please lower your left knee down. And then take the knees wide apart. Bring the big toes to touch. Drop your hips back towards your heels. Crawl your hands forward, child's pose. In your child's pose, let the chest move down towards the ground. Reach the fingertips forward. Swami Vivekananda said, the greatest sin is to think yourself weak. Remember, the definition of sin means to miss the mark. And so we miss the mark when we think that we are weak. Key word there is the word think. This is about stepping beyond the stone of thinking and moving into our hearts to recognize that we are not weak. He said anything that makes weak, physically, intellectually, and spiritually, reject it as poison. So if there are people in our lives that are making us feel weak, we must learn to gently step away from that. If we are watching things on TV that makes us feel weak, it is stepping away from that. If we are receiving impressions somewhere, somehow, foods that we eat that are making us weak or feeling diseased or uneasy, we must look at that a little bit. This is the practice in self-realization. It's realizing the true self and the blocks that we intake that get in the way of understanding that more firmly. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in. exhale, walk your hands over to your right side. Place your left hand on top of the right. Drop your left hip back to your left heel. Breathe through your left side waistline. He said, be not afraid of anything. You will do marvelous work. It is fearlessness that brings. And heaven is here right now. It's not this far off distant place in the sky or in another universe. Heaven is here. In fact, when the mind gets completely quiet, it begins to see just how beautiful here actually is. Even with all the ups and downs and everything else going on, when we live with a state of non-attachment, just letting things happen as they are and serving and doing the best that we can, the gift alone is that practice of service towards others. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in. And on the exhale, walk your hands over to the left side. Right hand on top of the left, right hip drops back towards the right heel. Breathe through the right side waistline. And so when we are dissolved in a state of service towards others, we live in that heaven of service. It doesn't matter what may be going on, we immediately see through a lens of service and love and kindness, rather than, I'm going to get mine out of this situation no matter what. That's just that selfish thinking, that old, outdated program that creeps up from time to time. I know it well. I see it in my own life sometimes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Unfortunately, I have teachers that lovingly point that out to me so that way I can get my head back on track and realign it with my heart. Slowly walk your hands back towards center. Rooting down through your palms, please shift forward, tabletop positions. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, tuck your toes. On an inhale, pull the heart forward, look forward, cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest, round your spine, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose, heart pulls forward, look forward. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, chin to the chest. Inhale, cow pose, heart pulls forward. Exhale, cat pose, round spine, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling cow, heart pulls forward. Exhale, cat, round spine, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. 3 more. Inhale cow. Exhale cat. Two more. Inhale cow. Exhale cat. Last one. Inhale cow. And exhale cat. Finding a neutral spine. Let's just start to circle the hips out. So we circle the hips out. You can bend the elbows, roll the shoulders. And so these teachings from Swami Vivekananda, he was born, I believe it was 1863. I may be a little bit off on that. I know that he died at the age of 39, and he just passed the turn of the century, the 1900s. But a lot of his teachings come from a space of, during this time, they didn't even have automobiles. They didn't have TVs, distractions. There was a lot more spiritual continuity, that there is able to be a level of focus, whereas these days it's a little bit more difficult because everything's pulling our And so I find it's important to go to the roots of these teachings and really look at it, because there is a bountiful feast of truth at the very root of where these yogic teachings come from. With your next inhale, shifting back forward, exhale opposite direction. And while I am not from India and I have not studied the history of India, I do know that in the 1800s, 1900s, the colonialization of India through British power did affect India very much so. And as a result of that, around the turn of the century, 1900s, there was a new phase of enlightenment that started to move from the east towards the west. And Swami Vivekananda was one of those teachers that brought some of these teachings of love to the west. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you have some blocks, please grab your blocks. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. What I'd like you to do is slide your right shin forward and take your left leg back. Okay, so you are on the right shin, lifting the chest up. This is a left psoas, left quadricep stretch. If you'd like to raise the blocks up a little bit, please raise the blocks up. Left toes pointing back, crown of the head reaching upwards. Spread through your collarbones. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling. Long, slow, deep breath in. Lift your chest more. Exhaling. Navel in, left rib cage, left hip forward. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly slide the right knee back. Slide the left knee forward. Sit the hips and pelvis forward and down. And again, find the right height for you for the blocks. The left knee's forward, the right leg is extending back, the hips are sinking forward and down. Find a slight scissoring action in the hips as the right hip draws forward, left hip draws back and in, top of the head reaching upwards. Reach through the right toes a little bit more. Long, slow breath in. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Two more. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last one. Inhaling. And exhaling. Slide the left foot back. This time both knees together, tuck the toes, and then sit back on your heels. As you sit back on your heels, find a stretch through the arches of your feet. Inhale, arms reach upwards. Exhale, bend your right elbow, place the left hand on top, take the gaze forward. As you take your gaze forward, spread through your collarbones. Feel a stretch through the right tricep. Maybe you feel a stretch through the right lat, latissimus dorsi muscle. Inhale, arms reaching upwards. Exhale, bend the left elbow, place the right hand on top, chest is lifted, gaze is forward, out in front of you. Spread through your collarbones. Long, slow breath in. Exhaling. Lift the head a little bit. Deep breath in. And exhaling. With an inhale, please reach both arms upwards. Exhale, release the hands down. Hands on the blocks or on the floor out in front of you. Tap the feet out. Now for everybody, this next pose is going to be different. If you need to sit on a block, sit on a block, or if your buttocks can come down towards the ground between the ankles, then sit your buttocks between the ankles. This can be a lot on the knees and quads, so if the flexibility is not there, elevate yourself and sit on something. All good. We're going to work on a tibial tibialis stretch. That's the front of the shin and top of the right foot. Right hand to the right knee. Left hand by your left hip. On an inhale, start to lift your right knee in towards your chest. So you'll feel a stretch through the top of the right ankle into the right shin. Lean back a little bit. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, deep breath in. Exhale, lower the right knee down. Let's switch sides. Right hand by the right hip, left hand to the left knee. Lift the left knee up, see how it feels. If this feels good, you can interlace the hands around the left shin. Top of the left foot presses down into the ground. Lift the chest up, spread through collarbones. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Take a full breath in. Exhale, please lower the left knee down. Take the hands forward out in front of you, tabletop positions. On the inhale, please shift forward in your tabletop. Exhale, lower your chest, lower your chin, come all the way down onto your belly. As you come onto your belly, take your right arm out to your right side. Left hand underneath the left shoulder. Then on an inhale, please roll your chest open to your left. If you join me on Wednesday, we did this as a shoulder opening stretch. Helps to stretch the right anterior deltoid as well as the right pectoralis major minor muscles. Swami Vivekananda said, "Arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached." So waking up, continually waking up, stepping out of the daydream of wishing things were different or pretending things are different. It's just embracing what is here today, right now, accepting it for what it is, working with it, not against it, using your own innate powers that every single one of us possesses to be able to flow with it, not fight it. Take a full breath in. And on the exhale, lower the chest down. Take the left hand out to the left. Take the right hand underneath the right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, roll the chest open. Breathing into the left anterior deltoid, we roll onto our left hip. He said, learn everything that is good from others, but bring it in, and in your own way absorb it. Do not become others. And so the practice is not about being a copycat, to copy any Swami or any guru or anything like that. The truth is, you are the guru. We're just here to help discover that guru within you. just as my teachers have been helping me along the way to find that internal spark of divinity inside of myself, our work is to point each other in the direction of that light. And so in doing so, if you find that something is good about another person, then continue working with it, but don't become that other person, because that comes with a whole set of other things that you don't need to take on. Take a full breath in. Exhale, lower the hips down towards the ground. Please reach your right hand forward, reach your left hand back. If it's available for you, or if you need to use a strap, use a strap. Bend your left knee, grab the left foot, bring your left heel towards your buttocks. Now from here, start to reach your left knee back. Maybe you lift your left thigh up and away from the ground. For those that have a more advanced practice, maybe you take your right hand back and grab the foot too, lifting the elbows up and away from the ground. Tuck the chin towards the chest as you reach your left knee back. Hold here for 5, 4, left heel to the buttocks, 3, 2, take a full breath in. Exhale, gently release. Turn your head to the right. Tap your left leg out. And reach your left arm forward. Reach your right arm back. Bend your right knee. Grab the right ankle, right foot, knees together. So as you grab the right foot, use a strap if you need to. Right knee reaches back. Collarbones spread. Maybe you lightly start to lift your right thigh up and away from the ground. If this feels good, maybe reach your left hand back and lift the right thigh a little higher. Swami Vivekananda said, "Comfort is no test of truth. Truth is often far from being comfortable." And so when we hold postures in practice, it's moving into that space of discomfort. It's not just staying with what's comfortable. Doesn't mean force something, doesn't mean you have to experience pain, but work towards what is uncomfortable. Be curious about it. Liberate yourself from it so it does not continue to haunt you. Hold for 5, 4, 3. Exhale, release the right leg down. Lightly tap the feet out. Turn your head to the left. Bend both knees. Take the arms out to the sides. And all we're going to do is windshield wiper the feet side to side. Over to the left. Over to the right. Over to our left. Over to our right. Over to our left. And over to our right. Coming back towards center, lower the feet down towards the ground. Slide the hands back by the low ribs, and then press yourself up into a tabletop position. Take a full breath, inhale. Exhale, press through the palms, tuck the toes, lift the knees, downward facing dogs, hips up and back. Pedal your feet out, bend your knees, walk your dog out. Let the head hang. And finding your downward facing dog, separate your hands about shoulders distance, separate your feet hips distance, heels turn slightly outwards. Let the head hang, soften facial expressions. As you root through the palms and fingertips, wrap your biceps forward. Continue to let the neck relax. Feel your inner thighs pressing towards the wall that's behind you. Inhale, lift your hips and heels high into the air. Exhale, press your chest towards your thighs. Lower your heels to the ground. Again, inhale, lift your hips and heels high into the air. Exhale, press your chest towards your thighs. Lower your heels to the ground. Downward facing dogs. Long, slow, deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. One more deep breath in. Exhale. Slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands, coming into a forward fold at the top of your mats. As you come into a forward fold, bring the feet together and just let your head hang. Put a little bend in the knees so that way we're not straining the hamstrings. An injury that I see quite often in yoga, it's sometimes called yoga butt, but it's where we begin to overstretch the semimembranous and semitendinosus muscles, where in the attachment points in the hips is where they attach, and there's too much pulling that takes place because the hamstrings are not given enough rest. In Ashtanga yoga especially, because there's so much forward folding, it tends to be an injury that arises quite a bit. So make sure that you're not overstretching. Make sure that you are taking days off or just stretching different body parts so you're not doing the same thing over and over and over again. On an inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, please fold it in. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, folding it in. On an inhale, please rise and reach upwards and our palms touch. Exhale, hands to our hearts. Inhale, our arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold, hands, fingertips down to the ground. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, press to rise, reach upwards and our palms touch. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhaling, arms out and up, we reach. Exhale, forward fold, hands, fingertips down towards the ground. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, plant the fingertips, step your left foot back, lower your left knee down, double up your mat if you need to, untuck the back left toes. Let's sit our hips forward and down. So now we're getting a little deeper into our right hamstring, left psoas. Use blocks if you need to underneath your hands. I'm going to grab mine. Bend into your right knee. And remember, as you do a pose, it's not about doing what you may be seeing on the screen or what someone's doing next to you. Your body is your body. Your body may have had injuries. Your body may have had aches and pains. It might have had trauma experienced in it. So it truly does us no good to compare our practice to somebody else's practice. Somebody may have been a dancer. Somebody may have been practicing for many, many years. Getting and letting go of the competitive one, especially in this practice, makes more room for the one that can provide service, because we can't truly provide solid, true service if we are also holding on to that competitive mindset. It's either one or the other. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with competition either. It's enjoyable sometimes. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, start to take your hips back, straighten through your right leg. And I say that it's enjoyable sometimes, but when it comes to self-care and practices like this, there is not a rush or a competitiveness to beat anybody into our own bodies, because at the end of the day, we wake up to our body, we go to sleep to our body, so why not let's learn to treat these bodies well while we have them, you know what I mean? Take a full breath in. Exhale. These restorative classes are like the scenic route on a long joyride. We get to really experience at a deeper level where some of this tension is carried in our body, and we can smooth that out by being present with it. And then once we recognize these little sightseeing areas of tension, we can go back and visit them again. So that way we can come a little bit more correct with them. We can maybe start to be more introspective into recognizing perhaps some habits or patterns that we have in place or contributions to it. The more we do this work, the more we see. The channels of the body opens, the channels of the mind open, the heart is felt. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. With your next inhale, please bend into your right knee. Sit the hips and pelvis forward and down. On the exhale, heel-toe your right foot over to your left and lower your right knee down. Single leg pigeon. Now, if you are unable to come into single leg pigeon today, come onto your back into thread the needle pose, crossing your right ankle over the left knee. If you find that your right buttocks is lifted way up off the ground, then you can place a block underneath your buttocks. Whatever works best for you. Listen to your body. Long, slow breath in. Exhale. Walk your hands forward and fold in. And Swami Vivekananda said, "We are responsible for what we are, and whatever we wish ourselves to be. We have the power to make ourselves. If what we are now has been the result of our own past actions, it certainly follows that whatever we wish to be in the future can be produced by our present actions. So we have to know how to act." And I speak about this a lot at recovery centers, but, it's taking responsibility for where we are. And by the time, a lot of folks meet me at the recovery centers, it's not about judging everything that they've done in the past. It's just recognizing that certain habits and patterns of the past have landed us in this place called here and now. And because of that, and because we are here and now, we now have an opportunity to make new choices. Otherwise, the karmic reaction of all of it is that we're going to keep and continue to experience the same things over and over and over again until habits and patterns change. And so, if we can look back introspectively at our life, not through the eyes of judgment or a lens of judgment, but just seeing it for what it is and seeing our actions for what they are, then we can go back and start to make changes to these patterns and habits, because a lot of them are just deeply conditioned and in place. We obviously get something out of it, so it's understanding what we're getting out of these actions and habits. It's asking ourselves honestly, do these actions and habits truly serve me, and certainly do they truly serve others around me? And if the answer is yes, then continue. But if the answer is an honest no, then that's where we can start to make some changes. Because if we don't make those changes, we'll just find ourselves back doing the same thing over and over and over again with the same experiences repetitively. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. And deep breath in. Exhale. Walk the hands in, lift the chest up. Rooting down through your palms, tuck the back left toes, lift the left knee. Inhale, sweep the right leg up and back, open up the right hip. And on the exhale, lower your right foot down. On an inhale, come high on your tiptoes, bend your knees, look between your hands. Base of your exhale, quietly step your left foot forward, step your right foot forward, forward fold to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to rise, reach upwards and our palms touch. Exhale, hands to our heart center. On an inhale, arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold, hands fingertips down to the ground. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, plant the fingertips, step your right foot back, lower your right knee down, untuck the back right toes. Sit the hips and pelvis forward and down. Use blocks if you need to for support. I always recommend that. As you bend into your left knee, right hip forward, left hamstring stretching, chest lifting. If you want to raise your blocks up a little bit to get more length through your spine, please do so. One of the biggest parts of the physical practice of yoga is aligning ourselves in such a way that we are able to receive more oxygen into our respiratory system. Now, not every pose is going to have that, but in most poses, we want to try to create space for us to breathe. We use the lungs as a mechanism to help open up the rest of the body. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale fully. Exhaling. Inhale fully. Exhaling. And deep breath in. Exhaling. On an inhale, please take your hips back and straighten through your left leg. Walk the blocks back with you. You walk the blocks back with you, press your left heel down. Left hip draws back, right hip draws forward. Flex your left foot a little bit more. Then try to lengthen your spine, heart reaching forward. Hold for 5. Press your left heel down. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Take a long, slow breath in. Exhale, walk the blocks forward, bend into your left knee, sit low in the hips, and then heel toe your left foot over to the right. Lower your left knee down. If you have a thread the needle pose or a different hip opener, please come into it. Ease the left hip down towards the ground. As you ease your left hip down, right hip draws forward, left hip back, top of the head reaches upwards, inhale. Exhale, start to walk your hands forward and fold in. Bolster your hips if you need to place a bolster under your left hip. Your hips should be even with the ground. So right hip rotates down. Swami Vivekananda says, strength is life, weakness is death. Expansion is life, contraction is death. Love is life, hatred is death. Do the things that you can to help strengthen your life. Observe the things in your life that weaken you. Do the things in life that help you expand and open up. Observe the things that cause contraction and reclusion. Observe the things that you love and gravitate towards that. Let go of the things that you hate. Breathe. I was just reading an article about the other day about masculinity. It was a Huffington Post article, but it was about men don't say to one another, "I love you" enough. In fact, there is a fear that comes up when we hear those words for some reason, because we might think that we get into our heads about it. Maybe it's, fear of homophobia, "Oh, I love you," or something like that. That's not the case at all. Maybe there's fear of rejection, because maybe we were rejected or something like that as a child. It's not the case at all. Learning to really understand what love is, to not be afraid of the word love, to learn how to see not only our brothers as love, but also our sisters too, all family. And that in itself is a lifelong process, and I kind of feel it's something that takes perhaps even many lifetimes to understand and to work with, but we certainly don't need to fight one another. There's enough resources here to go around. And you're certainly not feminine or gay or whatever you may be in your head. For those with bravado out there that are afraid to use the word love, you're a lovable human being. It's important to hear that. The more that we hear it, the more we begin to tune into it. The more we tune into it, the more we begin to exude that, speak that, share that, and move with that. Take a long, slow, deep breath in wherever you're at. Exhale, let it go. Slowly walk the hands in, lift your chest up, tucking the back right toes, lifting the right knee. On an inhale, please sweep the left leg up and back, open your left hip up, and on the exhale, lower your left foot down to the ground, downward facing dog. If you're interested in looking at that article, I posted it yesterday on my Facebook, but feel free to check out that article, maybe send it to some friends that maybe could use it. Please lower your knees down to the ground. Come onto your buttocks. As you come onto your buttocks, take the legs out in front of you. And growing up in a military culture and also going to Air Force Academy, that wasn't something that we used a lot in school. We weren't walking around saying, "I love you." In fact, a common phrase I heard at the Air Force Academy, and I hope that they changed it, was "go kill yourself." You'd walk down a hall and some upperclassmen would say, freshman, senior, whatever, "go kill yourself." It was a very common thing. That's very different than saying "I love you." Of course, you're trying to promote camaraderie, but that can really mess with someone's head a little bit too, for those that are more sensitive. Go ahead and take your legs out in front of you, flex the feet, arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, reach out and over the legs, fold in. I'm assuming, since I graduated in 2002, that there are certain things that have probably changed since then. Flex your feet, press your heels forward, heart reaching forward. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, fold in. Inhaling. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Couple more. Inhaling. Exhaling. And last one, inhaling. Exhaling. With your next inhale, please lift your chest back up. Shake your legs out. And let's start to make our way onto our backs. Please bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Gentle rock side to side. Let's massage the back out. If you have a block handy, please grab your block. Lower your feet down towards the ground. Please lift your hips. Place the block underneath your hips. So place the block underneath your hips, knees together, cactus the arms, palms face up. And maybe just try to say that to yourself. Just say, I love who I am. I love the being I am. I love the being that I am. How does that feel when you say that? Does that feel weird? Does it feel strange to talk to yourself in such a manner? Because to me, I'd rather say that to myself than, I'm effing dumb, or I'm stupid, or this, that, or the other. I've gone that route, and that route only brings a person down. Mentally, psychologically, emotionally. We have to step away from that. But it first starts off with ourselves. I'm not afraid to love myself. I'm not afraid to love others. Try saying that. How does that feel? Working with these phrases, speaking these phrases into existence, because in truth we create our reality. Our thoughts, our words, our actions, our habits, all of it contribute to something much greater. And when we can take the time to really look at that, we can see what it is that we are creating. Are we creating stress for others by our own stressful thinking? Or are we creating a loving space for others due to our loving thinking? Honest questions to ask. Knees into the chest, take the legs upwards. Because if we can't answer those types of questions honestly to ourselves, then whose wool are we pulling over our eyes? What sheet are we pulling over ourselves in order to hide and cover from? Honestly. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. And deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. Bend the knees, lower the feet down towards the ground. Inhale, lift the hips, remove the block, lower the buttocks down. And then let's just windshield wiper our knees side to side, back and forth, back and forth. And let the knees fall over to your right side. Turn the head to the left. Cross your right ankle over the outer left knee. As you turn your head to the left, let the right shoulder come down. Breathe into the outer left hip. Full breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhaling. And full breath in. Exhaling. With your next inhale, please bring your knees back towards center, uncross the legs. Exhale, take the knees over to your left, cross your right ankle over the outer left knee, turn your head to the right, let the right shoulder come down. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhaling. And inhale fully. Exhaling. Slowly uncross the legs. Please bring your knees back towards center. Let's hug the knees into our chest one final time. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way up. Give yourself one final hug and a squeeze, hugging everything into a tight ball. And on the exhale, release everything down towards the ground, Shavasana, closing the eyes. As you close the eyes, relax the head, face, lips, mouth, and jaw. Be playing a gong today. Just allow yourself to be here. Awareness of the breath, awareness of the body, the inhales and exhales. Slowly begin to move the fingers and move the toes, circling out the wrists and the ankles, rolling your shoulders out, turning the head side to side, back and forth, opening and closing the mouth. The deepest, longest inhales all day. Reach the arms up and over your head. Give yourself a long stretch. And exhale, arms down along the sides. Placing a gentle bend in the knees, please roll to your left side. Use the right hand, press yourself up. Come into a comfortable seated position. As you come into a comfortable seated position, sharing one final quote from Swami Vivekananda. Place the hands over the heart. He said, all love is expansion. All selfishness is contraction. Love is therefore the only law of life. He or she who loves lives. He or she who is selfish is dying. Therefore love for love's sake, because it is the only law of life, just as you breathe to live. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. We'll finish our practice with an Om. Inhale. Inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale, bow the head down towards the hands. As we honor ourselves today, we honor our practices for showing up on our mats. We honor our friends, families, loved ones, and supporters. In gratitude for all the many blessings and gifts and the abundance that is in our lives. And in gratitude to the many teachers and guides that came long before us who passed along these practices called yoga. Please release the hands down, softly blink the eyes open, lifting your chins. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. I appreciate you. If you need anything at all, reach out. My family and I are here to help in any way that we can. I left these quotes in the comments section of the video, so hopefully you get a chance. If you like them, you can check them out. But again, as always, thank you so much, everyone. I love you. I appreciate you. Ho'oponopono. Aho. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.